Lesson 10, Cursive Capital Letters, K, H, X, Z, T, F. Let's begin with our capital K. Make sure you're in proper handwriting position, slightly slanted up in the corner. Top line, midline, baseline, descending space. Glide your paper over so you are writing in front of your chest. Beginning with the capital K. Just under the top line, we're going to hook up, come straight down to the baseline, go back up to the top line, just slightly over. You're going to diagonally go to the midline, then from there, you'll kind of a little bit hump over, and then make a kick. Very pretty. Next one. Hook down, always coming down, go back to the top line, down to the midline, and then kick it down. Once again, hook, down, back up to the midline, and then kick it down. Very similar to the manuscript capital K. Your turn. The next letter will be capital H. Beginning on the next guideline, begins the exact same way as the capital K. Slight hook, very skinny, not a large one, down to the baseline. Then you're going to hop over a little bit wider than what you did for the K, because down here, we're going to come straight down to the baseline. Then we've got to have some room to loop over under the midline. Keep your loop under the midline and then loop out away. So that is a little bit wide. Let's go ahead and try to make it a little bit skinnier. But with my marker, I want you to be able to see that there's going to be a loop inside there. Let's try again. Hook down, come over. Let's try to make it a little skinnier. Once you hit the baseline, you're going to start going up to where this corner is. Once you touch that under the midline, then you're going to loop back over and around and bring your tail all the way outside of the H. Actually, a very fun letter to make. Let's do the next one. Hook down, slide over, straight down. Now diagonally go up to where your line is right here. Stay under the midline. Everything is under the midline, and then loop out and touch at the midline. All right, this may take some practice, but you can do it. Your turn. The next letter will be the capital X in cursive. I am going to show you the lowercase x that we have already practiced and learned, and reminding you how similar it's going to be to the capital one. So for the lowercase one, remember we began at the baseline. We made a hump over like a little mountain. We came down and then we had a kick. From there, we went straight up to where the midline is, and then we X'd in. So basically, what we will be doing for the capital X is this. That's it, except we're going to have it reaching all the way from the top line to the baseline. So, just want to show you how close it is to what we've already learned. Beginning at the top line, you're going to make sort of like a little bit of a loop over down at the midline, come all the way down diagonally to the baseline. Then you're going to make your little loop there. So do you see how it kind of looks like a slope of a hill again? And from wherever you ended up with, you're going to go back up to the top line. And then this line will be actually straight. And you're going to go straight, crossing at the midline. and coming down. Very nice. So here we go again. A little bit over, down diagonally, kick with a kick, go up to the top line, straight down, meeting exactly where you began. So if we were to connect here and to connect there, then it would connect like a large rectangle. Here we go again. Okay, top line, slope, draw a slope down, and then at the end, put a kick, let go back up to the top line, and then you're going to, go straight through, crossing at the midline. All right, your turn. Next letter will be the capital Z. Just as I did with the capital X, I'm going to show you with the capital Z in cursive how similar it's going to be to our capital letter. This is the lowercase z where we began at the baseline. Again, we sloped upward just like the X. Then we came down into the baseline right there, and then we had a little hiccup right there, and then we looped and we ended it this way. So this is exactly what we'll be doing, but we won't have this long part, and we're going to be starting at the top line. So here we go. Just below the top line, you're going to hook up, touch the top line, then come down, and I like to try to think of it as you're making half of a heart right there like that. So wherever you started here, then you end up here. Once you touch the baseline, then you're going to skip up like you saw a mouse. Jump up a little bit, come down to the baseline. Then you're going to make a left loop and crossing right at the baseline. Simple, I think. Here we go. Below, make half of a heart. Stop at the baseline, jump up, come off the baseline, go down below, forward loop, and cross at the baseline. One more time. Half a heart, jump up off of the baseline, go down below, cross at the baseline. Your turn. Our next letter will be the capital T. We're going to make, I like to call it a little hat at the very top of the capital T. Beginning below the top line, you're going to slope up a little bit very quickly to the top line, touch it, come off of the top line, and come swooping back down and up, back up to the top line. Now where we sloped down right here, this is where you're going to pick up the rest of the bottom part of your capital T. So just where you began, starting the slope downward, that is where you're going to start drawing a line straight down to the baseline. Come straight up, and you're going to go right up to the midline, and then sharply scoop in to the center, sort of like a little boat. So this is your capital T. Once again, beginning with our hat, the rim of our hat first. Slope up, down, come back up. Inside here, come straight down. Now right where I began at the very top there is where I'm going to go up to the midline, and then I just come in with my little gravy boat, or my boat inside. If we kept on drawing it, it would kind of look like a boat. That's why I'm calling it a boat. Again, make the rim, make the top hat, come down, go back up, and scoop in sharply. Your turn. Our last letter for this lesson will be the capital F. Exactly like the capital T, except we have just a little center at the midline there. Watch. So beginning again, below the top line. Make your rim of your top hat up there, like that. Come down to the baseline. Make it rounded up to the midline, and then sharply cut in to the center, below the midline. Then all the F needs is a little bow tie at the midline, right there. Okay? Here we go again. Rim of your hat. Come down. Round it up. You're making your boat. And scoop in. Then go back up and make your bow tie for the F. Again. Top of your hat. Come down. Swoop in. Make a little boat. And give it a bow tie. Your turn. Okay, now let's practice writing some sentences using the letters that we have learned above. First sentence is going to be, have a happy Easter. And we may even put in their day. Have a happy Easter day. Let's do that. Beginning below. Come straight down. Come over. Again, the skinnier you make your letters, the better. It will be for the next year. So there's my H. Come down for my A. Have. V has a hump. Then you hump back up. It is a high connector. Connect over to the E that comes down. Have. Ghost O. Spelled with just the letter A, but the word is happy. A comes down from the baseline. Then we've got our P's. Your P's have been looking much better as I've been looking around at your booklets. 1 P. Do it again. 2 P's. And then let's go into the Y. U-turn. Down below. Loop over. Have a happy. Let's make the name the word Easter. Capital E. Beginning at. Below the top line. You're going to scoop up. Make sort of like an ear to the midline, loop around there, come back down, and now since this ends at the bottom here, this is where we can go ahead and continue on with our A, E, A. Sorry, let me get my marker better. E, A, S. It's a point, belly down below. T, tall all the way up, come straight back down. We will cross it once we are finished with the word. Go into the E. Here's your tricky R. So we stop at the midline. You come off from right under the midline, and then you scoop on in. So let's try to get a little bit better with our lowercase r's. And then don't forget to go back and cross your T. Have a happy Easter. And let's do day. Next line. Have a happy Easter. We're doing this one because I have seen you had some struggles with your capital D's. So down here, there's a backward loop, then you come over and you make a frontward loop to the top. at the baseline. Here's your A, and then U-turn down below for your Y, and let's do an exclamation point, which is down past the midline. Stop, and then your dot is at the baseline. Your turn. I'll bet you did a great job with this first sentence. Let's go on to the next one. This will be Zia is the name of somebody. Zia will sing Friday. Zia, let's begin. Here's our capital Z. Remember to still have a space even after you have finished with a punctuation of some kind at the end of a sentence. Still goes to, and then let's begin. Capital Z loops down, making half of a heart, and then you jump up. And since this is a low connector, we are able to go into the next letter. Z with an I and then an A. Loop over, straight up, straight down, and then dot your I. Remember that your A is up, reverse, go back over, and then straight back down. I still see some students struggling with the lowercase a as well. Zia will sing, baseline, up, one U-turn, two, so one U, W, and then high connector to the I, down below because the L is a low connector at the beginning, loop up, another L, looping to the left, and then ending with a kick. Don't forget to dot your I. Zia will sing, goes to O, baseline, up, then point it downward, and then make your belly and reverse for the I. N, lowercase, needs 2 humps in cursive. Reverse, come back, straight down below. We'll sing, and let's say on. We have enough room for on. Beginning at the baseline, over, reverse, high connector at the end, so then we go into the end, 1 hump, 2 humps, on, and then I need to go to my next line, Friday. And this is where we have our capital F, where we need to make the top part first. So beginning below the top line, swoop up, dip down a little bit, come back up to the top line. Then where it dips down below, that's where you're going to continue with your F. Coming down to the baseline, sharp, going upwards, and then a sharp curve in. And then don't forget to make your bow tie at this point. Baseline, R. Come up off of there and then scoop in. Then you make your I. Here's your D, reverse, straight up, straight back down. A, reverse, straight up, straight back down, and then a Y. U-turn, loop. Don't forget to dot your I, and do not forget your punctuation before you admire your work. All right, your turn. Our last sentence for this lesson, lesson 10, is going to be, Charles is now King of England. So you may have heard that in the news most recently. Here we're going to begin with our goes to, then let's start with our capital C. Remember, it's very much like the manuscript C's. And then we scoop out a little bit more. Now here we're going to go into the H, looping back, straight down, To spell Charles, it's C-H. Here we go. Then you go into the A, reverse. Here's our R, again to practice. Off, and then tuck in. L, back loop to the left. E, and then we have S. Belly down below, and then scooping out. Charles. Ghosto is and then we barely have enough room for now, and making it skinnier so it will not be looking smushed over and around. 1U, W, barely got it in there. Okay. Charles is now king. Here's our K. Coming down to the midline, scoop down. Since we have an end connector right here, we can go straight into the I. It's only when you have a dangling capital letter at the beginning where it doesn't end nicely towards the baseline, then that is when you need to go ahead and begin your own letter that follows on its own without connecting it. King of Ghosto, baseline, over and around. Be sure to have your spacing between your words, very important. Straight up to the top line, straight back down below, way down below. Then you go to the midline, and then you scoop up. That is your lowercase f. King of, and here's our E, once again, for England. E, loop, and then make this part. Since we end down here, we can go ahead and begin with the next letter, which is N. Ing, and then let's go into the G. Loop in the front. Let's swoop all the way up for the L, loop backwards. Ing, land, A, N, D, and there you have it. Don't forget your punctuation. Beautifully done. Okay. I love all the work that I've been seeing. Your handwriting has improved tremendously. I hope it's getting a little bit faster for you as you get a little bit more comfortable with it. It will get easier the more you practice. Just keep on going. We have one more lesson, and then we will be completely finished with all of our cursive letters. So I will see you next lesson. Bye.